off. But there at the end, it seemed like that setup that we had in a little bit cleaner air was actually really strong. So, great effort, way to hang in there by the whole team, and I can't believe we finished second.
We also welcome here Carl Edwards, driver of the number 99 Scott's Ortho Ford. Carl, you are still the points leader by 25 points over Kevin Harvick. You talk a little bit about this coming to the road course at this point in the season and maintaining that points lead.
I think this is a huge weekend for us. We started out terrible, and we changed plans right at the end of practice on Friday. So I decided to we all got together and we talked about it. I called the CEO of Fastenal, and we decided for me to stay here and practice on Saturday, and Billy Johnson would run the Fastenal Mustang up there in Road America, and that was the call of the weekend right there. It ended up giving us 2 hours of practice. We got to really work on the car, and that's what made this a good day for us. So that was a really good effort. It was not the most fun way to spend Saturday. I would have much rather gone and raced over there, but it was great for everybody to come together, and Bob did a great job with the strategy. Early in the race, we were terrible. I mean, we were just back there mired in the pack, and with him, all the other terrible race cars like Jeff Gordon's, and I almost passed you on the green, which was pretty fun because I used to watch you on TV race here. That was going to be big, but in the end, he got us. And back when I was a little kid, and you didn't have gray hair.
Like I said, I'm going to be 40 this year. There are some advantages. Today, it paid off.
Yeah. Right. So he got us at the end, and we're just proud to come home third. That was a great points day.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions here in the press conference room. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. Please state your name and affiliation. We'll start right here with David.
David Caravella, NASCAR.com. When Kurt stayed out. All right. Good job. When Kurt stayed out like 10 laps longer than everybody else in that first cycle, I mean, did you guys think then, okay, this is playing into his hands, or did you have an idea of how things were going to try to play out with him staying out that much longer then? Or
yeah, we were too far back to even.
You got to ask somebody that actually could see the front. I know it wasn't me.
No, at the end when on the restart they were telling me his lap times, and he was kind of easing around there. He was not going as fast as he could. Every once in a while, he'd blister off a really fast lap. So his car was extremely good, and he did a good job managing it. But I think he had just a very fast car.
Okay. Questions from down here? Okay, we'll take one in the back.
Dave Ross, Sirius XM Radio. Carl, if you were battling for the points in the Nationwide Series, do you think you might have made the opposite decision and gone out to Wisconsin?
I think we would have, but as it stands, we're racing for the Owners' Championship over there. And then there's the fact that I committed to running all the races. So it was that was the most important thing, that Fastenal was okay with me staying here, and they made it clear they were a part of Roush Fenway Racing, not just for our 60 team. So that was pretty cool. But we're still fighting for the Owners' Championship over there, and I'll race every race that I can.
Okay, any other questions? We'll take one more down here, and then we'll go up for questions.
It's Brian Arnold, Daily Republic. Hey, Jeff, you mentioned before the beginning of the race your car wasn't as good, and then it was way better in the second half of the race or so. What was the biggest difference maybe that you made, or the way you were driving to get up to second place?
Well, I mean, we made a lot of adjustments, and oh gosh, I mean, I can't even think of all the ones we made. I mean, we rubbers in the rear, and track bar and wedge and everything else. So, I didn't really think any of those things were making a big difference, but we also were never in clean air. And, there at the end, that was the furthest forward that we had been all day. So I really think that the adjustments we made really did work on just helping the car turn into the corner a little bit better, but and getting us pointed up off the corner so we could drive off a little straighter. I was just so tight getting in the corner, and then I because I had so much wheel into it, when I went to the throttle, I just wanted to spin out off, and I was really slow through the fast sections as well. So we struggle in every aspect. Normally when you're off a little bit, there's one corner you're good in. There's not one corner I was good in, but there at the end. I don't know if the track came to us, what happened. It just seemed like that setup and the adjustments we made and being in cleaner air, started working for me. And I had enough grip to really use the curbs. And by using those curbs, I could get up off the corners a lot better.
Okay, we'll take some questions from upstairs, and then we'll come back down here to finish up. Questions from upstairs? We can barely hear you down here.
Just yell, Lee. I think can you turn it up from?
Yeah, we can't. We got a separate mic up there.
Yeah, if you yell.
Everybody be quiet. Let her yell.
Okay, we still can't hear up there. If there are any questions,
Tweet it to us and we'll.
Yeah,
we'll
tweet it to us or email me and I'll answer. We'll go ahead and take another one.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
Thank you. Lee Spencer, Fox Sports from Jeff Gordon. Kurt Busch said at the beginning of the weekend that he was kind of put off by the fact that you didn't apologize to him last year and you'd apologize to other people. Have you ever used something like that as the catalyst just to come back and kick everybody's butt, kind of like what he did today? I mean, he had a phenomenal race, just a dominant race. I mean, have you ever used something like that just to kind of push you, to have a day like the day Kurt had today?
Well, now there's a difference between when I make a bonehead move and mistake on a guy and go in there and just take him out like I did with Martin Truex, and a guy like Kurt Busch who ran me off the track on a restart, and then I ran him off the track on the next restart, but I did it far more. So I didn't think I owed him an apology. And he's done things to me over the years that I didn't get any apology on. So, that's just kind of one of those, that's just a relationship that I have with Kurt. I mean, if it's Carl, certain guys out there have certain relationships. And if you have that kind of respect on the track for one another, you apologize. And I don't think that exists really with me and Kurt, so I see no reason to apologize. But, those guys have been on a mission here lately, so I would say their motivation is how bad they ran earlier in the year. And, I think it was pretty well documented at how much they struggled and some of the comments that were made. And whatever they've done since then, it's really been working. They're fast on the ovals, fast on the road courses. They were strong all weekend long. So, to me, that's why he's in victory lane, because he's a good driver and he had a great race car and team today.
Other questions from upstairs?
Yeah, David Newton, ESPN.com. Kind of following up on you just said, Jeff, and Carl, you can address it too, because you've had some struggles the last few years and seen your team turn around. The way they have come back, I think 5.4 is his average finish over the last 5 races. The way they've come back and performed here lately, is it unusual to see a team and an organization turn things around that fast?
I don't know if it's unusual, but they definitely have turned things around. And, our team 1 year ago, after this race, we really turned things around and we got on a roll. And now all I worry about is how long it's going to last, if we can keep it going. So I'm sure they're thinking the same thing, hoping that they can keep this going through the whole season. It's amazing how the performance in this sport peaks and then can fall quickly as well.
Additional questions from upstairs?
Lee Spencer again. Can you guys just give us an idea of what you thought when you saw the 14 car up in the tires like that with its ass set up? Because it's not seldom, or it's not often though that we see a car kind of in that position, so to speak.
I don't know. What happened?
Well, I'll tell you what I thought. Did you guys see that wreck in the Grand Am race at Elkhart Lake or wherever they were? That's what I thought of. I thought, man, his throttle's stuck going in there or something, or brakes went out. You got to be traveling at a high rate of speed going backwards to get up on those tires over there and keep it there. So from what I heard, he had a little help getting there.
Any more questions from upstairs?
No more questions.
Okay, we'll come back downstairs, David.
Hey, Carl, how much do you think staying yesterday helped? And was it tough at all to watch the Road America race, given how it ended for Billy?
Yeah, it's very tough to watch the race in Road America, but I think staying was the right decision, and it paid off today. It worked out, so it was a good call. It could have, we could have finished poorly here, had ended up, up on the fence over there like Tony did or something. Anything can happen, but it turned out to be the right call and it paid off. So it was a great move.
Go ahead.
Hi, Debbie Arrington, Sacramento Bee. Congratulations on a great race.
from up here, it looked like things were exceptionally crazy on turn 11. A lot of things were going on, a lot of action. In your past experience with this race, was it more than usual, or was there anything different about turn 11, or was it just the way luck is?
I mean, I made a comment one time on the radio. It was nuts, just crazy. You guys are seeing turn 11. It's crazy from the time you drop the green, going 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's just the build up to get to turn 11. The problem is that turn 11 is truly. There's two places you can pass on this track, going into 7 and going into 11. And really, even you couldn't pass really going into 7 today. So slick getting in there, you had to be so careful. And so everybody waits till turn 11. And then because you're racing one another, it seems like guys really block the inside lane and force guys to go around the outside lane. And so it builds frustration. You get in a position where this is your only shot for that entire lap to try to make a pass, and so either somebody gets aggressive and drives in there too hard and makes contact, or they just get frustrated, and start using the bumper. It's hard to say, but yeah, it was pretty crazy from where I was sitting. I know that.
As I look at it, it looks like there's an opportunity with all that pavement out there to move turn 11 about 200 yards this way, 150. And then you can just call that the donut hole or something down there. You go down there and spin around, do donuts when you get run off the racetrack. But there's an awful lot of pavement there to put that corner all the way at the end of it. You know what I mean?
You can turn right here.
Yeah.
Go ahead in the back.
Yes, yes. Tom Fitzgerald, San Francisco Chronicle. Jeff, you alluded to you didn't feel you needed to apologize to Kurt from last year, but you did apologize to a few of the others for how it went. Did you come into this race planning to run it differently than you did last year?
Well, I didn't plan on going into it last year that way. It just kind of happened that way. I was not proud of some of the things that I did last year. It's not my style. It's not the way I like to race. Like I said, there were some instances where it was a mistake on my part. Like the Truex thing. Juan Pablo is behind me, and he's the king of the late breakers, and so he would be a long ways behind me, and yet he'd still drive down to the inside of me in the 11. So when I crashed Martin, I was blocking Juan Pablo, and made me go into Martin. It wasn't like I was even trying to do anything towards Martin. So, I definitely, there were times today where we didn't have the car and I gave up the spots. I wasn't going to try to push the issue. I guess that's good and bad. I didn't have a car that could even try to pass anybody or block anybody down in turn 11 for most of the race. So I had to give up a lot of those spots and just, kind of bite my tongue and hope that we could get it fixed or get track position, which it worked out. I certainly didn't want to make as many enemies as I did last year because I made a lot of them coming out of here. So, it's nice to come out of here and that not happen. I don't think I really touched anybody today. So that feels good.
You really pissed me off. Passing me at the end.
But I didn't touch
no.
Okay, next question.
I felt bad after that race. And then I heard how mad everybody was at you, and it made me feel better. So